Favorite YouTube channels is Wrestling Regret, and he just reloaded his Saint Valentine's Day review. And since it's close to Valentine's, I decided to like look back at all my favorite parts of Wrestling Regrets reviewing of WWF programming. So let's go.
Henry that happened like very recently at this point with Sammy. I've talked about that years ago in my Attitude Era countdown. And they said, don't forget about Sammy. I'm like, can we please forget about Sammy? I do.
Look, I want to say this. When it came to like Mark Henry and stuff like that, he was in love with China. So I'm not shocked that he chose a man chick like Sammy to get jiggy with. Like it's like what like Triple H said.
A bitch.
Come on out here and get your ass kicked, you big jacked up bitch.
I do want to say in this review that with the power of hindsight, I realized how underrated of a tag team Jarrett and Owen were. At the time, my 14-year-old self, I was such a mark. I hated these guys.
Look, when it comes to like Owen and Jeff Jarrett, I wish Jeff Jarrett brought one of those fucking guitars to break Owen's fall, because it was crazy how they did Owen. And also, I like to also blame Sting for Owen's death, because Sting, he always had that thing where they came from the rafters, and that's where Vince McMahon got the idea. So, and also Sting got his whole theme from another dead guy. Like, if any of you ever saw the like the Crow and shit like that, that's where Sting stole his whole identity from the Crow, which ironically enough, the Crow died too. So Sting is 2 for 0 when it comes to like people he was associated that died.
Them so bad because they always cheated. They always had Deborah on ringside to help distract people. I think people don't talk about this team as much in retrospect because, Owen's widow won't allow them to talk about Owen, and Jeff Jarrett is persona non.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't allow anybody to talk about Owen too if Vince McMahon screwed me out of 90 million, I believe. I believe he offered the widow 90 million, but she wanted more. I don't know what's up with that. But later on, Vince McMahon actually sued Owen Hart for breach of contract for dying, since he couldn't make his obligations because he was dead. It's fucking brutal.
Non grata at the time of this. There's the rumors he might be getting inducted this year, but for right now, he's persona non grata. But, if you look at just their body of work and like what they did, I think it was a very good, underappreciated tag team in retrospect. They were great heels.
Anytime that Owen Hart really goes into a tag team, like they always put up in these odd couples. It was Owen Hart with Coco Beware, Owen Hart with Yokozuna, Owen Hart with Jeff Jarrett. Like, Owen Hart would team up with any race. Like, there's the 3 main races that he teamed up with. I'm pretty sure there was a Owen Hart and some Indian guy he teamed up with that I'm forgetting. But Owen Hart, every time they didn't have nothing to do with Owen, they always teamed him up with some random combination that he has nothing to do. A real odd couple. He had nothing in common with these people, which really makes it a real odd couple when I see them. But yeah, it worked out.
At one point in the commentary, Lawler makes a Wrestling with Shadows reference about Owen.
They twice beat the Boss Man and Shamrock, once for the Tag Team Championship, and that's because Owen's not wrestling with Shadows.
All right, so the reason why they did this is because Wrestling with Shadows originally had permission to like film backstage quarrels and shit like that. But then, and this was when the company popularity was low. But then when it started gaining steam, Vince McMahon got on his whole Vince McMahon and nope, we can't tell him that wrestling is fake. We can't tell him that it's all like a stage, even though we compare it to like the theater, which is literally like Broadway. He always compare wrestling to like fucking Broadway and shit like that, which literally Broadway is so staged, it's on a stage, which I thought that was strange. But yeah, but that's the full story. That's probably why the king did that. Like just the king was used as a mouthpiece for Vince McMahon when he was angry and shit like that. So were JR.
Gunn lost an ice competitive vows accompanied to the ring by Ryan Shamrock, Ken's kayfabe sister, but in real life they were dating at the time. That's very weird. The whole match.
Oh yeah, that story remind me of the White Stripes, which ironically they're wearing all white. Or I'm talking about the White Stripes, so wouldn't they would have to wear something else that's not white in order so you can see the stripes, like a zebra color or something like that. I just thought of that. But yeah, it reminds me of the White Stripes. They said that they were sister and brother instead of man and wife, which really, and it also reminds me of the Bible. Abraham, he said that his sister was his wife, in order to like hide their identity or something like that. I don't know why he did that, but it kind of reminds me of the Bible. And Ryan is also the name of one of Ken's sons. Wow, that's pretty for you to name one of your sons after a girl you dated, which was your kayfabe sister. That's pretty gross. Technically, he named his son out of his. Technically, the son is named after his auntie, kayfabe auntie. But yeah, it's all weird. Wrestling is weird as fuck.
Ken's kayfabe sister, but in real life they were dating at the time. That's very weird. The whole match, the whole feud is basically revolving around Ryan and who she can and cannot date because, Val Venus starts putting Ryan in her films. They start dating. Ken Shamrock is very protective of his little sister, does not.
Well, he must be not that protective of his little sister because she still went through with fucking the nigga in like the whole video porno videos. And I always wondered, the porno is called Sister Act. I wonder why Whoopi Goldberg didn't sue them for taking her taking her fucking movie name. And one of you goofballs, I actually said this in a comment, and one of the goofballs said it's a parody. Yes, it might be a parody of what? It's literally just a small little skit about him being a porn star. I mean, it's supposedly a funny skit. And I just noted this. It says Kid Shamrock's sister, stars Kid Shamrock's sister. But yeah, the thing is called Sister Act. And I'm wondering why Whoopi Goldberg didn't sue like WWF for taking the name of the movie she starred in. And one of the people in the comment section said that it's a parody. No, a parody have to do with something with the movie other than the name in order for it to be a parody. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? I mean, you can't just have like a funny little skit. You can't have a funny little skit about slipping on a banana, call it Star Wars, and then when George Lucas calls you up, you're like, it's a parody. Yeah, and George Lucas is like, but the parody has nothing to do with Star Wars. You just took the name. It's a parody. That's how fair use works. It was dumb as fuck.
Weird start already. The show begins with a bonus match: Kwee versus Jason Jet.
Why the hell does Kwee hair looks like half of it got struck by lightning and and half of it got struck by lightning and burnt off, and the other half survived, and now it's just having this long just hair straight up, like I don't know what the fuck this style was. Like he knew that his like hairline was retracting, but he decided the back of the hair to be slicked up. Like that looks fucking. Do anybody else notice in the back? Like it says, Lex Loser. Like they really did not like Lex Luger, and I know that Reliving the War said that Lex Luger couldn't make any promos, but still, that's pretty fucking rude, man. This is what Owen Hart's wife said to Vince McMahon.
If it's professional wrestling, then it must be green.
Oh yeah, that's that's what she said. Why does Booker T sound like he has a Dusty Road list?
Talking about this, talking about that. Tonight, WCW agreed.
Up next,
Did y'all hear that? Like WCW agreed? Like that sounded like a Dusty Road list.
CW, he and his weird tights upset Alex Wright in the match last week.
I'm sorry, was that a botch or a fucking move? Like, was that one of those Vince Russos where he merges reality with fiction and shit like that? Because that just looked like a horrible damn move. Like you just flip somebody up and then they just fall. Like that looks like a fucking horrible.
I give it 3 stars out of 5. Not a terrific main event, but it's the best one of the trilogy so far.
Wait, did anybody notice that he gave it 3 stars and it's the third main event out of the trilogy? Like I don't think a lot of people catch that. That was pretty clever, man. You're pretty funny. And look at how I stopped. Like look like a damn peckerwood. Like straight up with his mouth like that. Yeah, freaking crazy, man.